9705, Mr. Hurley.
Yes, thank you. So it would have been interesting if we had moved to a confidential session on the last hearing and had to clear the room, but fortunately that didn't happen. So we have two reports left. We have the Finance Work Group report that we filed October 15, 2024, and that was kind of a holdover from a prior order that wanted the work group to consider additional metrics, reporting metrics. We met, we agreed, we have metrics, we have the approved metrics, and that was on page 2 of the report. So that was a consensus report, and I have nothing additional to add.
Okay.
I think Mr. Voorhees wants to talk financing in general right now, though.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, thank you. Just wanted to add a few additional comments since financing has come up and including in an equity context. And so obviously we appreciate the additional metrics and data that were provided. And, you know, it's clear from that information, it's not necessarily surprising that that loan pilot program is not serving low income or low and moderate income customers. That's a very sort of clear finding. That may change with the reduction in credit score required. So that's a change that probably being implemented now, but certainly the data is that that's not the population that pilot has been serving. And low and moderate income customers, you know, face very significant barriers for financing in general. The goal would not be to send a lot of customers, or necessarily any customers who qualify for DHCD programs, to take out big loans to pay for projects that they otherwise would qualify for. So it's really about moderate income customers is really sort of opportunity and need. For that to happen, a number of things need to occur. Affordable sort of interest rates is one of them, and the pilot is you know focused on that for the most part. But the other thing, and apropos of a lot of the conversations we've been having, is about ease for the customers and for the contractors. And for these loan programs, both the customers and the contractors play roles. As we've talked about, contractors play a huge role in originating and scoping and helping customers think about projects, and they are helping make customers aware of the financing. But it needs to be really easy for the contractors, really easy for the customers. People are skeptical about financial offers and all of that. And if the pilot were to go to scale, there would need to be a lot more progress on that. It is not yet a lean and mean, easy financing tool. I think it's proving important ground, but there still would need to be a sort of long way to go. So those are the only additional comments that I have.
So, Mr. Fleshman.
So should we do anything between now and the end of the pilot, which is, Mr. Hurley, when is the end of the pilot?
I believe it's this summer.
Okay.
I believe it's July of this year, but
Okay.
I'll double check and get
Okay.
back to you to give you that date for sure.
Okay.
I'm sure there's probably people back there saying yes
Right.
or no. But
And to be clear, Commissioner, thank you. We're not recommending or requesting that you make any changes
Okay.
to the pilot.
Okay. I mean, it seems like, since we only have some short period of time, let's look and see what the results of the pilot are. I personally would like to see, in the same spirit of sort of streamlining the customer experience in terms of making choices about heat pumps, I'd like to have the financing options there as well. So it's sort of a one-stop shop. But we can address that when we look at the results of the pilot.
right, and of course, as a pilot program, that will be evaluated to the EmPOWER Maryland EMV standards.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So our last report is the Moderate Income Work Group report that was filed October 15th. So Section 6 of HB 864 requires the Commission to establish a moderate income work group whose purpose is to study and make recommendations to the Commission on coordination of activities and benefits under the EmPOWER Maryland program between the utilities and DHCD. so that moderate income customers may obtain the most effective assistance under EmPOWER. And order number 91175, the Commission requires this work group to provide status reports on October 15th of this year, February 14th, 2025, and submit a final report by April 1st of next year, as the Commission is required to file a report with the General Assembly by July 1st of 2025. We have begun our discussions. We have started to reach some consensus on the definition of the moderate income customer and assessing the existing programs. We will continue to meet on a regular basis to discuss the other topics and required by HB 864. And of course, any additional items the Commission wishes us to add to the moderate income work group, we will investigate those as well.
So we had talked about self-certifying as sort of a way to kind of streamline the process so that we don't put so much of a burden on the utilities, and sort of making sure that somebody is a moderate, within the moderate income definition. Is that something that you're thinking about, the self-certification piece?
Yeah, so we've had initial discussions, and I think there is a self-certification piece, and we've also kind of come to a certain agreement on the appropriate income level to be moderate income. I think as part of that screening process, if the customer comes within like 5 to 10 percentage points on either side of that line, the utilities will do a more thorough examination to determine if that person should actually be in the low income program by DHCD and not in the utility program.
Okay, thank you.
So, self-certification. So what does that mean? Does a person write down what their income is and say that's what it is and they sign that? Or, because, you know, in my experience, everyone thinks they're middle class. Seriously. I mean, rich people do. So, how does that work?
Pass it up to Mr. Ryopko, who's with BG.
How does that work?
Good afternoon, Eric Opko with BG. So first, I want to back up a little bit. So BG over the summer got approved for the moderate income offer as part of our home performance program, and then this month we started to launch that program with a contractor. So first, we worked with a contractor. It's right now with one contractor who works both with DHCD and their programs as well as with the BG Home Performance Program. This way, we have a contractor that understands both programs, that understands the rules and the guidelines, and so they're able to help guide that customer through whichever program they qualify for. Clearly knowing most contractors would prefer to get paid, so knowing that DHCD is going to pay 100% of a job is very attractive to a contractor. As far as the self-attestation, we're working through that process, but definitely as the customer, there's a dialogue with the customer on the income level. Commissioner Barber, I can, I guess, sympathize with your view. I remember a while ago, my grandmother, who was just living in her home alone and in New York, and she was told, you know, hey, you qualify for this program, and she argued that she didn't, and it turned out that she did, and so definitely understand that. But here, I think we're working through this as a moderate income program offer, and we've offered to share the information on this offer with the moderate income work group as we kind of work through this program and understand, you know, where there are areas to improve as well. But right now, it's definitely a dialogue with the contractor and the customer to understand where their income levels might be and whether they could qualify for the DHCD programs, or if they truly believe that they're the moderate income customer that qualifies for the offer that the utility put forth.
Okay, thank you.
So just for my edification, how did we determine who is a moderate income customer?
So in the report, I believe this is the utility reporting on their moderate income programs. The definition they're using for that, and which we're considering for the moderate income report, is 251 to 400% of the federal poverty level, or greater than 80% of the area median income, up to 100% of the area median income.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the first 250 to
251 to 400% of the federal poverty level. So DHCD's program, low-income customers are eligible up to 250% of FPL qualify for the DHCD program.
Okay, but what was that 400%?
That's the top end of the moderate income definition.
I see, okay, all right.
And what, I mean, do you have any idea what that translates to into dollars?
I don't have those numbers. I can get those numbers to you though.
I'll comment that it depends on the household size. So the number of occupants in the household, there's a variation on.
Well,
yeah.
so here's my concern. Given the fact that I'm probably going to be the person that makes this report to the General Assembly, and apropos to what Commissioner Barve mentioned, there's probably going to be lots of opinions about what's moderate income. So I want to be able to articulate to them and defend to them why we picked what we picked as moderate income. And, you know, since I'm probably going to get second guessed and third guessed about what it is, and that may lead to some attempts on some people's parts to change it around. So let's just make sure it's bulletproof. So whatever it is, but I just want to be able to defend it in front of his former colleague. So.
If in doubt, we can refer to the federal government, Mr. Chairman. That one of the considerations.
Yeah,
is
and I
that,
understand. So again, all I want is be able to say, here's why we picked what we picked, and and why it's defensible, and because as he alluded to, I mean, people have their own opinion about what's moderate income. So, and it kind of goes up and down. So, but okay, all right, thanks.
Appreciate the direction. Now, I guess for the last thing, we did have a work group that was supposed to spin up and discuss megawatt goals. I thought it was due on 2025, not 2024, so we have not spun up that work group yet. I think OPC alluded to that in their comments this morning. So we're going to get that work group moving, and I guess we request a report date of next October. So this is going to be looking at the next program cycle to be in effect, if approved.
Anybody have any problems with that time frame, or? Okay. All right.
That's all we have.
So, anybody got any final questions, comments? All right. Well, thank you very much. Oh, actually, let me one thing. So, there's been a number of requests from us over the course of these next couple of days. So, we're actually going to put these together as bench requests, and we're actually going to send them out in written form so that everyone can know exactly what it is we want people to comment on, and then we'll provide a time frame for people to provide responses. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully someone's going to go through the transcript and figure that out.
Well, we'll talk to Ben and Alexis.
So I
And,
can't possibly remember the things.
oh, I understand. Yeah. Well, I think if we get together, we can.
I know, I think that's true. All right, so when-
That's a good idea, or a little.
I feel a little bit.